So, how are we doing with those New Year's resolutions? Well, 2010 is almost over, and 2011 is just a few short weeks away. I know, you're probably saying to yourself, Cantor, we've just finished Hanukkah. Who's had time to think about New Year's resolutions? Well, if you're like me, it seems like only yesterday that I was compiling the list for 2010, and now, another list. But that's the nature of life. We live in cycles that carry us from one season to the next, through times of joy and through moments of sadness. If you recall, last year at this time, we, the American people, were facing one disaster after another, financial, political, social, name it. We were inheritors of one big mess from previous years, and the real irony is that it was a legacy that we had bequeathed to ourselves. How we progress with our New Year's resolutions puts me in mind of this week's Torah portion. It's called Vayechi, and it's the closing chapters of the book of Genesis. Although it's tempting to compare the story of our patriarch Joseph with our president Barack Obama and the challenges one faced and the other soon to confront, but I won't. But I do see other parallels between the world we face today with the story we read both this week and in next week in the Torah. First, in just 15 days, we will bring 2010 to a close. Although 2010 has had its moments of pain and disappointment for so many, I do believe that we will transition into 2011 with a greater sense of hope than we experienced coming out of 2009. Although the sense of the American people seems to be one of both anticipation and trepidation to the new year, still I am determined to keep a hopeful attitude. I think we, as a people, can do some pretty amazing things when we put our minds to it. Certainly, time will tell. Second, unlike the portion we now conclude, we knew that the 7 years of plenty in the land of Egypt would be followed by 7 years of hard famine, and then, the part we sometimes forget, everything returned back to normal. All's well that ends well. That's how the book of Genesis comes to a close. We can't say the same thing today. As a country, we've enjoyed a number of good and productive years of great prosperity, and now we face the years of famine. Some say an economic depression which may exceed the Great Depression of 1929. Will the American people be worse off tomorrow, next week, or even in the coming months is a discussion that holds very little comfort to those in the grip of the financial devastation. What we need to do is give everyone reason to hope. And how do we do that? Well, I'll offer some ideas in a moment. Third, as we prepare next week to open the book of Exodus, we already know the story. It's the story of our people. It's the story which we tell and retell every year at Passover. It's the story of a people going from slavery to freedom, from the depths of poverty to a life where we can hold our heads up with pride, a life where, I pray, we can thank God for the miracles we experience as we continue on our sacred journey. Fourth, I believe we are reenacting this journey of freedom and responsibility every day. How we respond will determine how well we will survive as a nation and as individuals. Our response has to go beyond the stimulus package, the tax breaks, and the new health care provisions. Those come from the hands of our elected officials. They will, of course, do tremendous good. But that's not my focus. My focus is me, you, every individual. Together, what can we do that will make a difference in 2011? The what can I do is not all that complicated, but it will take time. We in the Jewish community are known for our commitment to helping others. That's who we are, and that's what we do. But it's going to take more than just our financial contributions. It's going to require us to give up more of our own time and energies as active volunteers. We will have to become more engaged in the lives of others. We will need to see the face of the poor with our own eyes, to hear the story of their life, to reach out and touch their hands, to place an arm on their shoulder and let them know we care. Hope is created through human touch. Fifth, although the economy is starting to show signs of improvement, the private funds which were so generously donated in years past may not be as forthcoming in the coming year. It's not because we don't want to contribute. The simple truth is that the discretionary income just may not be there in an economy that is still struggling. But there is something more we can do. We can participate by helping members of our congregational family through God's unfinished business. Many of you are already active volunteers, but some of you may wish to find out more about the good work GUB does. Odds are, all you have to do is turn to the temple member sitting next to you, and they will tell you all about the many things they do with GUB. Or go online to www.timemphis.org and check out what Temple Israel is already doing. Or go online to www.volunteermemphis.org. As the website for Volunteer Memphis states, make your New Year's resolution count. In addition, our leaflet is promoting something so terribly important. You hold the power to help those in need. Any of us could face a financial crisis due to an unforeseen event, like a death in the family or a job loss. The Plus One program from MLGNW provides one-time utility assistance during such hardship. If you have not already signed up for this Plus One, I urge that you will do so. It is my hope that we will step up in greater numbers to put a Jewish face on the stories of the active volunteers who make a difference at Temple Israel, within the Jewish community, and in the greater Memphis community. When we personally touch the lives of others, we bring them hope. We also taste a bit of that sweet fruit ourselves. And finally, in Jewish tradition, as we bring this final chapter in the book of Genesis to a close, we prepare to begin next week's book of Exodus by saying, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, which means may we be strong, may we be strengthened, and may we strengthen one another. As we move into the new year, may our hands bring hope into the lives of others. May we be strengthened by the joy of doing mitzvot. Then we will find that we have indeed strengthened one another. That's a New Year's resolution worth keeping. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, and may the secular New Year be filled with blessings for you and your loved ones.